In this, one of the richest men in the city, a billionaire, is screaming in frustration because his brand new luxury car won't start. He's called every expert, every mechanic, but no one can fix it. And then, out of nowhere, a poor, heavily pregnant woman walks up with just a small toolbox. What happens next will completely shock you, because she does what no one else could. The morning sun had barely risen over the city skyline, but Alexander Drake was already in a foul mood. His customized, state-of-the-art luxury car, an obsession of his for years, refused to start. He had spent a fortune on it, the finest engine, the most advanced electronics, and a design that turned heads wherever it went. And yet, there it sat in his driveway, lifeless, mocking him with its silence. Alexander slammed the car door in frustration, the sound echoing against the marble walls of his mansion. "Not now. I don't have time for this," he shouted, pacing back and forth. Today wasn't just any day. He had an important business meeting that could secure a multi-million-dollar deal, and being late was out of the question. Every second wasted made him angrier. He had already summoned 3 of the city's most renowned mechanics, each one an expert in luxury vehicles. They had arrived with their high-tech tools, confident smirks on their faces, promising they would handle it. But hours had passed, and each of them left with the same words. "Sir, this is unusual. We can't fix it." Each departure left Alexander more furious than the last. His frustration wasn't just about the car, it was about control. Alexander was used to getting everything he wanted, bending circumstances to his will. Yet, this simple machine had defied him. Neighbors and passers-by couldn't help but notice the scene. Whispers floated through the street. "It's the billionaire with the broken car," one said. "I can't believe no one can fix it," another murmured. Some even secretly felt a hint of satisfaction. After all, it was rare to see someone so rich and powerful helpless. Alexander, however, didn't care about onlookers. He was consumed with irritation and impatience. He stomped around, tapping his foot, muttering about wasted time, and glaring at the car as if sheer willpower could force it to work. Every failed attempt from the mechanics replayed in his mind, making him more desperate. This car wasn't just a vehicle. It was a symbol of his success, his status, and his control over everything. And right now, that control was slipping through his fingers. Little did he know, help was about to arrive in the most unexpected form. A person he would never have imagined could succeed where the city's best had failed. A person who would teach him a lesson he didn't even know he needed. Just as Alexander Drake's frustration was reaching its peak, a quiet commotion from the street caught his attention. Out of the crowd, a young woman emerged, carefully walking with a noticeable baby bump and a small, worn toolbox in her hands. Her clothes were simple and modest, clearly showing that she wasn't wealthy or connected. Yet there was a spark in her eyes, a mix of confidence, determination, and calm that made her presence impossible to ignore. She approached Alexander cautiously but without hesitation. "Excuse me, sir," she said politely, her voice soft yet steady. "I think I might be able to help with your car." Alexander looked her up and down, incredulous. He couldn't hide the skepticism in his voice. "You fix this," he scoffed. "I've called the best mechanics in the entire city, and none could even figure out what's wrong. And you expect me to believe you can?" The woman didn't flinch or seem offended. She gave a small, serene smile and said, "Sometimes it's not about how expensive your tools are or how many years you've trained. It's about understanding the problem and treating it with care. Machines, like people, respond to attention and patience." Alexander hesitated, his pride warring with desperation. He glanced at his car, gleaming, powerful, yet stubbornly silent, and then at the line of curious onlookers whispering behind him. Finally, he stepped aside with a gruff, reluctant motion. "Fine," he muttered. "Try it. But don't waste my time." The woman nodded and knelt beside the car. She opened her small toolbox, not with the flourish of a professional mechanic, but with a quiet confidence that immediately caught the attention of the crowd. People paused, watching as someone so unassuming, so ordinary-looking, prepared to tackle a problem that had defeated the city's finest. Alexander, still skeptical, crossed his arms, wondering if this was going to be another failure, or if somehow, against all odds, she might actually succeed. Emily, yes, her name was Emily, knelt beside the sleek, unresponsive luxury car, her small toolbox open beside her. She didn't rush. Instead, she moved with deliberate calm, her fingers carefully tracing wires, checking connections, and inspecting the engine as if she were listening for its silent complaints. The crowd that had gathered around Alexander and the car watched in silence, mesmerized by her focus. Minutes ticked by, and Alexander's impatience began to rise again. "Are you done yet?" he snapped, leaning over. "I don't have time for this. My meeting won't wait." Emily looked up briefly, her calm smile unwavering. "I just need a little more time," she said softly. "Machines respond to care, not force." Then she went back to work. Her hands moved quickly but gently, her movements precise. She adjusted wires, tested circuits, and even tapped the engine lightly, listening to the subtle vibrations. Passers-by whispered among themselves, "How does she know what she's doing? I can't believe this woman is even pregnant and still handling this." And then it happened. With a soft hum, the engine sputtered, then roared to life. The headlights flickered on, the dashboard lit up perfectly, and the powerful engine purred as if awakening from a long sleep. Alexander froze. His jaw dropped. How did you do that?" he stammered, unable to hide his shock. He had spent thousands of dollars, called the best mechanics, and yet a simple woman with a small toolbox had succeeded where the experts failed. Emily wiped her hands on a rag, still smiling calmly. "Sometimes it's not the tools or the money, sir," she said. "It's attention, care, and understanding. That's what machines and people respond to." Alexander could only stare at her, realizing that he had just witnessed something extraordinary. In that moment, the luxury car didn't just start. It became a symbol of humility, patience, and unexpected brilliance. For the first time in years, Alexander Drake felt a strange, unfamiliar emotion: humility. He had built an empire through power, wealth, and relentless determination. He was used to getting what he wanted with a snap of his fingers, and failure was something he rarely experienced. Yet here he was, stunned and speechless, watching a poor, pregnant woman fix his priceless car effortlessly. He studied Emily carefully, noticing the calm determination in her eyes, the careful precision of her movements, and the quiet confidence that had just made his car come alive. She wasn't flashy, she wasn't trained in expensive schools, and she certainly hadn't earned the recognition of the world. But her talent, her skill, and her courage were undeniable. Alexander felt a pang of regret. He had judged her instantly because of her appearance, her modest clothing, and her condition. Yet she had shown him that true skill has no label, no price, and no social status. She had done what money and influence could not, proving that dedication and care could overcome even the most complex problems. "Wait," Alexander said, fumbling for words. I want to pay you. You deserve more than anyone could imagine for what you've done." Emily shook her head, her gentle smile unwavering. "I don't need money, sir. I don't do this for wealth or recognition. I do it because I can and because helping is the right thing to do. Her words hit Alexander like a lightning bolt. In a world consumed by greed and competition, here was someone who acted purely out of integrity and compassion. He realized that wealth and status could buy many things, but they could never teach the lessons Emily had just shown him. In that quiet moment, Alexander Drake understood that life had just given him a rare gift, a reminder that greatness doesn't always come with a title, and humility can open doors that money never could. From that day on, Alexander couldn't stop thinking about Emily. She had not only fixed his car but also taught him a lesson in humility, patience, and the value of true talent. He realized that in all his years of wealth and power, he had never encountered someone who could challenge his perspective and inspire him without seeking anything in return. Determined to learn more, Alexander invited Emily to his workshop. At first, she hesitated, but her curiosity and passion for her craft pushed her to accept. Over time, the two developed an unlikely friendship, built on respect, trust, and admiration. Alexander watched as Emily approached every challenge with patience, focus, and creativity, qualities he realized were far more valuable than money or status. Seeing her work ethic and dedication, Alexander offered Emily a position in his company. He didn't do it out of charity. He did it because he recognized true talent. Emily accepted, but not for the wealth or luxury it could bring. She wanted to make a difference, to solve problems, and to inspire others the way she had inspired him. News of the incident spread quickly. People were amazed that a poor, pregnant woman had humbled a billionaire and succeeded where the city's best mechanics had failed. Alexander's story became a symbol of respect for talent, regardless of social standing, and Emily became an inspiration for countless people striving to prove their worth. In the end, a broken car, a frustrated billionaire, and a small, determined woman turned into a life-changing encounter. Alexander learned that wealth and status are not measures of greatness, and Emily showed the world that courage, skill, and integrity can come from the most unexpected places. Sometimes it's not the tools, the money, or the title that changes everything. It's the heart, the talent, and the unwavering determination to do what's right. And that was a lesson neither Alexander nor anyone watching would ever forget. And that's how a poor, pregnant woman showed a billionaire that true talent, courage, and kindness can't be bought. Remember, sometimes the most unexpected people can change your life in ways you'd never imagine. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible tales that will leave you inspired. Thanks for watching, and see you